There we go. Welcome back to the Two Alphas Talk. And tonight we will be discussing the Second Amendment with Robert Mason, the owner of R&M Property Group, and he's also a broker with EXP Realty.
Yep.
But first,
all right, sorry about that, Al.
yeah, man, no problem. It's quick. We're moving.
All right, let me go ahead and share this. I'm gonna go ahead and have you continue to do that because I got to send an email.
And a word from our sponsor.
Word from our sponsor. Let you guys know we're only on YouTube tonight. There's no other channels we're on except YouTube. And what am I looking for? Boom. All right, let's go to saberteamtactical.com and go to classes. And let me go ahead, Al.
Yep, we got private classes, the one-on-one class, that class where we watch you and then we make an assessment from that and we bring you along. We advance you from beginner on up. If you're at intermediate, we'll bring you into advanced classes. And all that's done under the watchful eye of our instructors, and we will get you going where you need to be. The last class of the year, November 12th, we're all looking forward to. That is our gear class, our rifle and gear class. Bring out your gear, especially if you bought it from Wish and you wish that it works. Come out and see. And we, I think it's 4, right? We got like 2 slots left.
Yeah,
Two or
it's
three?
possible 2 slots left. Also, this class is advanced class. It's not for beginners. But if you guys know how to operate, and if you haven't taken a rifle PCC class from us, that's fine. But you need to know how to operate your gear. You come out there half stepping and you don't know how to operate your gear, malfunctions, and you're slipping, I'm gonna go ahead and send you home, because the class is we can't afford to really take the time to try to teach you guys all that information in that at that day in that class. You need to take another class for that. So I do welcome you to come out. But if I do kick you off the class because I see you're inexperienced and you're lying about your level of experience, will be no refund.
Over exaggeration.
So for me,
No, I'm saying someone over exaggerate.
oh, over exaggerate, yeah, their skill set, because there is a test that I'm going to find out your skill set,
Right.
and so we'll send you back to another class, and you can use the money that you already paid for other classes. Then we'll take care of you for the next.
We'll work with you, right?
We'll work with you to get you trained up, okay? And AWK, and we'll go from there. All right, let's go ahead and bring our guests in. Let's bring this down. Also, to early voting in the state of Georgia. Please, people, get out and go vote starting on Monday until November 4th. Then it stops on November 4th. Then you can start voting again to, have to wait to November 8th to go vote, but get out early, vote gun. So remember that, vote gun, because we're at the last leg of our life. I see the smirk on your face, Al. And, but we got to do what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? I hate it, but it is what it is. Let's bring in our esteemed guests here. Boom. Let me change these looks around. And there you go. And we'll welcome Robert Mason, the owner and broker EXP Realty. And go ahead and say a little something about yourself.
Hey guys, really appreciate it.
Check your email too, Robert, so you can share that.
I did. I just got
Okay.
it.
All right. Thank you. No problem.
So my name's Robert Mason, and I'm a broker with EXP Realty and RM Property Group. And I do a lot of training with Al and Alfonso, and the Second Amendment and carrying firearms for protection is a big it's a big discussion in my industry, because we are targets. We're out there in the public's eye, and it's a big deal to us. So I appreciate you having me on to allow me to talk about some of this stuff, guys.
No problem. No problem. We do welcome you along, and we've been knowing this guy for a long time. I know I have, and Al know him too. We all shot together, hang out, BS, and we all have a good time together. And but he's in a field that neither one of us are in, and that's the real estate field, and it's a little different field that a lot of people don't talk about. How guns will affect them, how the Second Amendment will affect those people, because you guys know. Remember, for a while, real estate agents was being targeted and robbed, and abused
It's
for
a
a
big,
while.
it's a big
Yeah, and it was getting a little dicey and scary. I know a lot of people was looking for a lot of different classes. So I want to ask you, what are the plus and minuses in real estate and today, and how is the Second Amendment? You know, how do you guys see the Second Amendment, the real estate agents?
Okay, so a little background on what realtors usually are. I mean, we are entrepreneurs, right?
Mm-hmm.
The entrepreneur class is conservative in nature because we have to. Nobody provides us a salary or any benefits. We're out there all on our own, so we are a conservative natured group of folks. Now that being said, I think the conservative field is a little bit more generous to the Second Amendment and concealed carry permits and stuff like that. But my profession is we're solo artists. We're out there all by ourselves, and we advertise to the public. We put billboards with our faces on it. We have websites that traditionally is just all about us, and basically we go out there and we meet the public, and we're one-on-one, and we go into empty houses to show empty houses. And so this discussion, the Second Amendment and concealed carry, that is a big question in my industry. And yeah, it's gotten a little bit, it's not as safe as it used to be. We're just more, the public sees us more these days because of the internet and social media and everything. And that allows them to kind of key in on who they want to key in on if you have bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So with that, is more real estate agents today carrying firearms, and especially in our state of Georgia?
Yeah, because every state's going to be a little bit different. Every state's
Right.
got some, the violence numbers are going to be different, say Chicago to Atlanta to Memphis to Baltimore to LA and whatnot. So the NAR, which is the National Association of Realtors, said that roughly 16% of licensed realtors carry a firearm. I actually think that number is a little bit higher. I've had conversations with hundreds and hundreds of my agents that I've worked for, that I've looked over myself, and it's all about action. A lot of them say, yes, we want to, protect ourselves. We want to be able to learn gunsmanship. We want to learn how to use a firearm in case something happens. But a lot of them don't follow through with it. But if that number is 60% by the NAR numbers, I'd probably say it's more 18 or 19%.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. It's probably either higher or lower, and we would probably say higher.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm not going to tell you if I'm carrying.
Right.
And it's not something we really talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's nobody's business.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got one that fits in that with that question there, Al.
What you
Yeah.
got?
What's your main carry gun? Let's start off there. What's your main carry gun?
I'm a
Like every day you wake up.
I'm a Glock guy.
Okay.
And to me, it's about stopping power and concealability. And concealability, that's a good word for what we do. Are we wearing a suit? Is it a woman wearing a dress and has a purse? Me, I wear a sports shirt and a pair of slacks.
You don't wear dress and high heel shoes.
And what kind of shoes?
You don't wear dress and high heel shoes. Don't.
No.
No stilettos.
No, there's a lot of gals out there that do, but
Right.
Their concealability is going to be different than mine. But I like that Glock 40, Al.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my next question. The add-on or the follow-up to that was with caliber, because I noticed you were changing guns. I believe were you testing out a 34?
Yeah, I just bought a 34 to compete with because I'm getting tired of getting beat by guys like you. So I gotta up the ante a little bit.
Oh my God.
A little,
Yeah, I keep
That's
an eye
funny.
on you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I watch. I saw you testing it out. And I'm like, that's a good choice. Definitely a good
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, I got the RMR on that one, so hopefully it's a little better.
Right.
Right.
So you're getting some reps and work in with that, huh?
Yeah, but the Glock
Okay.
40, I like it. Compact gun. I like a stopping power of the 40 caliber, opposed to say 9mm.
Mhm.
That's a decision that all of us you got to make for whatever reasons. I like to stack my magazines with hollow points and just bullhead. So if I have to go through auto glass, a lot of people don't think about that. But if you try to come out of a car or shoot through a window, a car windshield, and you're shooting with hollow points, you're not going to get very far. So
Right.
that kind
Right.
of stuff. Into,
And the thing about it is not everyone understands the deflection of glass, because the glass that's in your house is not the same as the glass in your car. And
No.
All
that
the-
plastic in between the sheets of glass will deflect the bullet, and some bullets will not penetrate glass.
I had a range mine getting a shootout on I-20, and he was trying to shoot through his glass with a 9mm Glock, and he had hollow points, and none of them left the interior of his car.
Right.
Right. They're saying they can't hear you. Well, yeah, never mind.
Who's that?
I just
They can't
realized.
hear who?
I'm Rob, because he's not on this.
On what? What are you talking about? Oh yeah, yeah. You
I got
guys, hold on a minute, Rob. Let me
Go
we're
ahead.
we're only broadcasting on YouTube. We're not on Twitch. We're not on Facebook. I just put the links on Facebook and LinkedIn. You guys on IG, if you can't hear him, get over to YouTube, watch the show, support the show, and like the show and subscribe. So do not stay over here very long, because we're going to shut that link down. So it's not for you to sit there and watch over here on IG. Get over on YouTube, please.
Yeah, just posted
right.
the link if you can copy and paste it or
Right.
screenshot it. Figure out a way to get it.
Right. And everybody's watching. You guys had some questions at the close to about an hour, but you have questions, go post them.
Right.
We'll ask them.
Please keep the questions germane to what we're talking about.
Right.
Not German, but according to what we're talking about.
Right.
Sometimes I have to explain things.
If real estate agents are carrying firearms, do you guys train in scenarios like fighting inside the home, or fighting inside of a car, or just interactions with people? How how you're going to deal with a situation? Do you guys do anything like that?
Well, I'd say no as a group and as a business entity. No, individuals, and some of us, Alfonso, like Jim Martell, and there's some realtors out there that do competitive shooting and take it, very, very seriously. And what I tell my fellow agents is, hey, this is the difference between life and death. Just because you go to the range and you shoot 50 rounds out of a box and you say, all right, I'm ready. I'm ready to roll. Well, no, you're not.
Right.
Because the retrieval of that weapon, the retention of that weapon, how are you going to pull that weapon when somebody's 3 feet from you, quickly and use it effectively? All these things take a lot of time. That's why, we take so many of your classes, for instance. And that's why people should immerse themselves in not only just Saber Team Tacticals classes, but there are a lot of good instructors out there. You and I talked about, Edgar Mills over there at OSS, shooting solution. He's a Green Beret. I mean, he's going to come at you with some different stuff. And I tell my guys and gals, I'm like, you need to get into some realistic training scenarios. Because you know, and you, Al, you know as much as anybody, when the proverbial Merte hits the fan, you don't know what you're going to do.
Right. Yeah.
If you're training, you better just run.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to do something.
Fight or flight. Yeah.
Right.
And
or freeze.
Hopefully you fight.
Alfonso, we are a function of how we train. And we will produce at the level, the standard that we've trained to, right? So shooting a box of 50 at the range every 2 months that's what you're going to shoot to. That's where you're trained at.
Mm-hmm.
If you're super trained up like you guys and me over the years, then our standards are going to be a lot different on how we handle that incident.
Right. Yeah, maybe a direct response to a something a little bit.
Yeah.
And in the most cases, with people that are highly experienced, it never happens because they avoid it.
Right.
Yeah.
See?
I don't go to
that's,
Waffle
that's
House.
that's the right. See, that's the key. That's the key.
Right.
The places that you travel and you make a decision not to or to avoid or go in certain hours helps you because you're thinking. When people
Situational
who
awareness.
don't think of it or feel emboldened because they have a gun now and they can go anywhere, the gun is not a force field.
Right.
The gun can't watch your six. You have to be able to watch your six. So when you feel that way and you're off track, the way I look at it, because you think that you are emboldened and you're Superman, and you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
When people think and he say, like Al said here, certain places he just won't go. That
No.
limits the amount of opportunities you have to get in a gunfight, which is what you want. See,
No one wins in a gunfight.
nobody, except guys that talk on Instagram that want to be more than they are.
Right. Yeah, if it's at night and I know let's say if I need to go to the store or something, if I didn't go to the store during the day, I'm not venturing out at night. I just don't need to go. It's not that important, not unless it's medicine or something, but it
That's
has to
very
be
rare.
and it has to be and I have an extensive medical supplies here, so I don't really need to go out for anything, so
If it's
and
mission, then you'll go.
yeah, and I tried to explain that to my wife because she's willy-nilly just want to run the streets all the time, and I'm just like, what the hell, you just can't do this all the time. You got to be particular. I mean, you're an older woman and you don't pay attention to a lot of stuff, and so you're a victim. So you gotta really pay attention to what's going on, and you just can't walk around everywhere and think you're safe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Alfonso, there was a book that I read back in the early 90s, and it was called Living the Martial Way. And it was by Forrest Morgan, and he was an Air Force officer, and he wrote a book, and it's not about kicking, punching, and martial arts or which martial arts is better. It was more about trying to drive home situational awareness, how to get off the X if something happens. And this book that I started reading when I was in my early 20s, I've read it 3 or 4 different times. It kind of gave me an awakening, a young awakening. And I see that that's a big problem. Today's young folks are usually looking down at their phones or they're distracted by something and another. And situational awareness will get you in trouble more than hardly anything. It's just that dangerous not to have it.
That's a good segue to the next question. How long have you been a proponent of the Second Amendment? Because we know you carry, and we often say there's a difference between somebody who owns a firearm and somebody who's a proponent of the Second Amendment.
1985, I became a member of the NRA.
Okay.
I'm an NRA pistol and rifle instructor now. So, yeah, I've been a proponent of the Second Amendment, well, even when I was a kid, because my family and my father and my uncles and aunts, and we were all shooting in the rural South. Everybody had guns and hunting and stuff like that. So, yeah, at an early age.
Good. That's good stuff. Good stuff. And I think that's another thing that happens. People don't understand the gun culture, quote unquote, in that people don't get guns to become bad guy or tough guy.
No.
Guns are a way of their life. It's a part of their life. It's nothing new, and it's respected at an early age. And a lot of times, new folks they carry a gun and they're looking for something to happen, and that's wrong. Once you put that gun on, you have a huge responsibility, a very, very huge responsibility to maintain not only order around you but yourself first.
Yeah.
You have to maintain yourself first. You get in an argument, you can't draw your gun and start shooting at people.
It's a discipline.
Right. It's there for the last resort to save your life,
Right.
not to win an argument.
Right.
Takes a lot of self-control. And with that, do you see a lot of guys in the real estate agency carrying guns, or do is it? I know a lot of women, they probably carry off the body because they're in business casual, but you guys are in business casual too. So how are you guys carrying? Are you guys keeping it in your briefcase, off the body, or how are you guys doing it? You know?
Well, Alfonso, like you probably have 20 different holsters that you've tried out over the years, and you know, and for different seasons, you're gonna conceal differently as well. Females are going to conceal differently than males. It's
Mm-hmm.
as
Well,
far as how people carry in a briefcase or tucked in the small of your back or on your hip. That's a personal question, and each and every person's going to carry it differently. I'll tell you this: I've been carrying a gun since 1985, all through college, and to
mm-hmm.
today. And whenever I've been out of this house, my house, I've always got a pistol on me, and no one's ever seen it. I don't talk about
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't show people my weapon. It's not a subject that I openly talk about, other than when guys sit down and they ask me direct questions.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that has to be an interesting conversation. How they would even get to that direct question,
People
and
are very intimidated by the whole gun thing to begin with. Uh,
mhm.
if you didn't
and
grow
that,
up with guns, it's a different deal.
yeah, and I'm gonna go ahead and ask my next question because what you just did segue straight into it. Um, do the real estate agency, do a lot of agents frown on uh, firearms itself? Some people don't even want the same person with a firearm in the room with them, even though it's a good person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, once they find out, they're like, "Oh my God, I don't want you working with me. I don't want you around me at all." You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a good question, Alfonso, and thanks for asking it, because the NAR, National Association of Realtors, they wrote an article recently, and it was the 56 ways for realtors to safeguard themselves and protect themselves.
Mm.
56 ways. And guess how many times they mentioned firearms?
Zero.
One time.
Zero.
Oh, zero.
Zero.
Oh, wow.
Matter of fact, they mentioned zero weapons in particular. Um,
Wow.
so you can kind of gain from that where the
Yeah.
NAR stands on that.
So they don't want you guys having them at all. But if you guys was getting any kind of confrontation, would they back you? They basically wouldn't back you.
No, I'm
Yeah.
sure that they wouldn't, although I've never tested that hypothesis.
Yeah.
Um, so we've had some landmark murders and attacks on us realtors.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are up there. I mean,
They're very high, very, very high because they know you guys work alone
yeah.
and you're in an empty house. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so somebody can come in there and act like they want to see a house and they may be there to do you harm. I don't know what they're gonna rob, unless they're can use that as a tool to burglarize a home that's occupied. You know what I'm saying?
I've had incidents. I have been on a training. I was showing a gal how to hold an open house, and the very first person that walked in was very, very suspect. And I was literally going over how not to allow somebody to pin you in a room, and how to walk around the room with somebody as you're showing a house. And
Mm-hmm.
really strange person in a very strange car pulls up to a $800,000 house that they're not going to be buying, or I guess they could, but if it walks like a duck, sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck.
Mm-hmm.
This individual came in, and it was a scary, tense 5 minutes.
Mm.
It happens even
So,
with me.
so how do you guys diffuse that situation?
Well, the gal that I was with, I asked her to step back to the table with me as the person entered the house.
Mm-hmm.
There was no furniture in the house. There was no
Mm-hmm.
reason for us to go into rooms with the individual. I told the gentleman he had free reign of the house, but
Mm-hmm.
I quietly told my associate, do not get in between me and the person.
Right.
She didn't know what I meant. I think you probably know what I meant. If
Yeah.
something were to go down, don't be in the middle of us.
So did the person walk around the house? Did they approach you or anything like that? Did
They
you
were
just
very strange. He had his hands in his pockets. He had an overcoat on.
oh wow.
It's summertime. He,
Yeah. For cold in summertime, that's a dead giveaway right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so
He
yeah,
probably thought she was in there by herself.
he thought she was holding the open house by herself.
Right.
That's exactly what he thought. Yep. And when he saw you, his probably eyes, his whole demeanor probably changed once he saw you.
Well, yeah, people don't generally look at me and go, "Oh, there's a victim."
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Well, he wasn't expecting you, so
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Thank God.
wow, yeah. That's a good thing. Did he have any? Did he try to close the space between you guys, or he
I did
kept his
not let him
distance?
close the space. Um,
Okay.
kept walking around him using the angles, and my associate
Hmm.
followed me, and I just
Right.
had my hands up. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Protecting. Yeah. And
hey,
be a
this is over here,
offensive. Right.
but I had something on my hip there that I did not want to have to go for sure.
Right.
That's cool. So,
Yeah.
as a little theme here, we noticed that you're training realtors and all, and I also know that you train in firearms, right? So, in that aspect, what in your training, what is it that you like to train? What part of training in firearms do you like to train?
Al, that's a good question. That's a great question. But again, I'm going to go back to martial arts kind of. You know, it's great to be a grappler. It's great to be a handgun shooter, stationary shooter, right? It's great to be a boxer, and it's great to be able to train with a rifle and stand there and or move. So it's not really one thing that you've got to key in on, because in a tactical situation, in a situation where something's going down, you're going to be moving. And there's a chance that you might have to close the distance. You might have to create space. You may have a handgun. You may have a rifle. Depends on what you've got at the time. You may have a shotgun. You may be a home defense situation. So you've got to really train all scenarios. I like training with different people like you guys. I like training with civilian instructors, Leos, military guys, because they're all teaching something different. And I'm learning something different with
Right.
Salman Sawyer, Navy SEALs, and snipers, and people like Scott Kasmer, who's a SWAT guy. These guys, everybody's doing different things.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually it's very good to learn stuff from a lot of different instructors and take it and make it your own. And you can come up with your own fighting style, or you can remember when you have to utilize something like, oh, that didn't work. And now I remember I took that class. And so it's going to automatically kick in where you can just going to go to the next step. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? 'Cause
and you
that
can
next
fall
step
back on.
you can fall back on, because that instructor might have taught you something on what if you fall into the ground, or or how to sidestep, or how to move behind cover. And that's something you're not going to get from this one single instructor. You're going to get it from a volume of different instructors. And you'll take that and put it together and say, okay, this is what I learned from these guys. What works for me? Because
Right.
your body type, your age, it's just you have to look at a lot of different factors. Not everybody can get out there and roll in the dirt and get on the ground like some of these young cats are. You know what I'm saying? Me, myself, I never want to get off my feet. You know what I'm saying? But if I have to, I'm going to be very violent with it. But I never try to grapple anybody. You know what I'm saying? Because you do that, because you grab that person, then you realize that person might be a little bit stronger than you because they got some rage in them, especially if they're mentally not there. And now you got to dig down deep and find your rage in order to defend this. You know what I'm saying? And
Alfonso, I have the conversation with a lot of my martial art friends, especially some of my jujitsu guys. And
mhm.
I was a high school wrestler, and so that's my ground game is wrestling. And my jujitsu friends, they want to go to the ground in every scenario, and I'm like, guys, don't you
Yeah,
understand being on the ground in a bar is the worst place to be?
yeah, yeah,
So you got to
Yeah.
have skills.
yeah. You can get stalked and glass. It's not a good thing to get on the ground every single time and go down with a guy,
Right.
because you don't know if you might be winning that ground fight and his friends might jump in. You
That's
know what
right.
I'm saying? And you're not going to see them when they're going to come and blindside you with that punch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Stay on your feet, escape, get out of there if you can, especially if it's more than one.
So
You know what
you've got to train in a lot of different disciplines with guns.
I'm
And,
saying?
credit to you guys. Y'all do a lot of different training scenarios, fighting behind cover, fighting on the ground. Um, and that's what people need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on average, how much training do you do? Say, let's say for a year. Do you do yearly training? Like the two of us try to get out at least twice a year to take another course where we're the actual students, that we're just sitting there and we're soaking up knowledge. And this is along the lines that we're talking about right now. We're soaking up a different way of saying something, different way of doing something, whatever it is, whether it's a magazine exchange or some type of dry fire practice. And, what we just came through, a lot of video stuff is out there too.
Well, COVID changed the game a little bit as far as us getting together with folks. So there's
Yeah.
that. I was doing a ton of dry fire training, and I've got the little capsule, the red dot capsule that I've been using that shoots and it shows you where your shot placement is. And you can dry fire, and ammo prices got really expensive. So yeah, you don't want to go through $300 worth of ammo in 2 hours.
Right.
So the question, I probably will do 5 or 6 different classes in a year.
Okay.
Probably, I like to do as many competitions as I can. I did it was a variation of the tactical games a couple of months back, and that was pretty cool. The first time I had integrated all that kind of movement with, weights and climbing ropes and all that stuff. So yeah, I like to change it up. I like to do a lot of different types of things.
That's good. That's cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, do I know you said you're getting ready to get into red dot. What has pushed you to go to that red dot? And basically, you inspired me by you doing it. It has inspired me to actually do it myself.
Yeah,
So I bought one, the exact same setup that you have, but I didn't spend as much money.
I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy.
Right. So I always wanted to go that route. I was a little lazy, but when I saw your rig, I was like, I'm gonna go with his route, and I got the same exact sight, and I put it on my 34, and
See,
so I
this
haven't
is it.
shot it yet, but it's
So
exactly
you're in
what
the
it is.
you're in the learning curve right now.
I'm in a learning curve. Yeah, I'm in
Okay.
a learning curve. I'm learning something totally new. I mean, it's exciting to play with this stuff because I'm putting it all together and stuff, and so now I'm like, okay, once I get it together, when I go out the range, am I gonna really suck at
Oh yeah.
this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Be honest. For in the beginning you will, but it'll increase. You'll get back
so,
up to it.
what inspired you to go to an RMR?
Well, I was getting beat,
You was
and I'm
getting
very
beat,
competitive, and all
right?
the guys are just drilling 15, 20 yard shots,
With the RMRs.
with the RMRs, and I'm shooting a 40, which in competition that is shooting a major. It's called major or minor.
Mm-hmm.
40, and I'm shooting major, and there's more kick on that 40 iron
Mm-hmm.
sight, tritium night sights, whatever you want to call it, you've got on
Mm-hmm.
there back, and I wanted to be able to shoot further, and I want most of the competitors are shooting these RMRs, and there's guys out there shooting 50 yards with 9
Oh,
millimeter and connecting.
father.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
in
RMR has changed the game for in the shooting community. It has really made the average beginner shooter into a intermediate to almost an advanced shooter. Um, it's it's remarkable to see the change in somebody who's shooting RMR that's going up against people who shooting iron sights. It's you really got to be on your game with iron sights. But with the RMR, it makes it a lot more easier for the person to find the red dot,
Mm-hmm.
and especially some of these guys are doing it with both eyes open, you know. And that's my goal, is to learn the RMR with both eyes open and still hit a target. And
Well, it comes down to trigger discipline as well, and finding that dot when you
mhm,
push out.
mhm,
Find a dot, and how you push out is very effective. You don't want your head going up and down.
mhm,
You want the RMR to come up and meet what you're looking at, because if you point at what you're look, if you point at something and you bring your weapon up, you're pretty much going to be on that site, and that arm
mhm.
has got to come
Well,
up. You want to be fishing your head around looking for that dang thing.
that's for most shooters. A lot of shooters, beginner shooters, they pull up. Last first thing they're gonna see is not the sight. They're gonna see the target.
Oh
So
yeah, you're going to be
yeah,
looking all over the place for the dang.
yeah, yeah. They're gonna see everybody except their front sight. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna see the cat over here walking. They're gonna see somebody behind them.
And
They're
as
gonna see,
you're going to be hitting them from behind, going, "Oh no, no, Johnny!"
right. They're gonna see everything except their front sight. So
Muscle
but
awareness.
right. And so it makes a little difference because I put co-witness sights on. I'm putting co-witness sights on mine. So I got that crutch. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I'm a little afraid now. You know what I'm saying? Is I'm gonna still use the crutch, or I'm gonna go. I gotta force myself to go to that red dot. You know what I'm saying? And I think I can do it. It's gonna be. I have Romeo fives on my rifle. So, but the interesting part of that is with rifles, I shoot with my non-dominant eye, my right eye, and so now I'll have a red dot, and it's going to be on the dominant eye, which is going to be the left eye. So I have to retrain the brain when it sees red, go left. You know what I'm saying? And so it's going to be very tricky. Either that, or I'm just going to switch hands and shoot the gun in my left hand.
Well, you were shooting
You know?
pretty good with your left hand the other day.
Yeah, yeah, I was.
I
So
think you're
that's
a leftist. You're a
huh?
left. You're closet left.
Whoa.
I'm closet lefty.
Whoa.
That's sacrilegious. That's blasphemy. You know. But
Whoa.
yeah, I might end up doing it. I mean, I don't have a
You mean
now. If I
shooting with your left hand?
if I do that, I gotta contact our guy
Hoyle.
Clayton and get me a left rig. I'll have to get everything changed over. You know what I'm saying? And shoot in order to shoot left. And that's going to be very interesting. Yeah. Oh, we lost him. We lost him. Hopefully he'll come back.
Yeah.
Yikes. 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 Closet lefty. Yeah. We'll wait till he come back. Here he is right here. Boom. Yeah. He forgot to feed the squirrels.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. He forgot to feed the squirrels. His internet went down. But if you guys in the chat listening and watching, if you guys got any questions, go ahead and start putting
Shoot
them
him
up
out. Yep.
and shooting them out. And we'll go ahead and put your questions on the air and go with that.
Oh,
Uh,
leftist is already on there. Okay.
oh yeah. Likes, yeah, clear closet leftist. Um,
Left hand. Left hand. Let me.
Right. So yeah, I would have to get a whole different rig. I have to get my magazines. It's that's another expense. You know, so,
You
getting
never.
all that, huh?
It never
Yeah,
ends.
yeah, getting a nice rig because I like my magazines straight up and down, but I want them to feel comfortable on the right side. I just can't switch this rig specifically for the right. I mean, swap it around. It has to be, perfect. You know what I'm saying?
The magazine pouches will be fine. It's the holster that you need
Yeah,
to
it's the
switch.
holster. Yeah. So that'd be weird drawing from the left side. I'll have to put a lot of
Weird to
hours.
who? Weird to who?
Me,
Oh,
me,
okay. 'Cause
weird to me.
don't say weird because a lot of people do that.
Do what? Draw from the left
With
side?
everything you just said, yeah, I'm left
Yeah.
eye. This is where I was born. This is what I was made into. So,
Right.
and Omar, I tell you, there's times where I just come out with left side. That's what I was gonna tell you. Just get a lefty, get a left holster, and try it.
You got a
Flat
left
fire
side
first.
holster?
I got a bunch of left sided stuff.
You got one for a 1911?
I have to look. I'll check it out. Look.
Okay. Then I can
Yeah,
always.
it started a long time ago with the realizing I'm left eye dominant, and then thinking, well, I'll just go left-handed. And then the department I was with, they were like, "Nah, you're not doing that." So stayed on
They
the right
frowned
side.
on it.
Oh yeah, because just like it was something I was toying with, and then when I was in charge at the range, it was kind of like I already passed it over, so I'm not going to do it anymore. And then it was I was at Rogers School, and he came to me and he said, "Had I met you years ago, I would have made
It
you a
made
lefty."
you shoot left.
He said,
Yeah.
"I made you a lefty." He said, "Everybody that is left eye dominant should shoot left-handed." He said, "But once you progress into a certain skill level and you have accomplishment in that level, there's no way going back. It's a waste. Like what
Yeah.
you're saying right now. You can do both of them, but you shouldn't just go exclusive. You should build up that left side and then pick a side.
Yeah.
Then you pick a side.
Yeah. What side is? Yeah. It doesn't feel comfortable shooting left side. I feels like I'm lost. You know what I'm saying?
That's because you're still it's new. It's brand new.
Right. But like I said, when I shot rifles, in the military, qualified expert. I just drop targets at iron sights at 300 meters. You know what I'm saying? Like it was nothing. And but I was always like, damn, why is it so freaking blurry a little bit? You know what I'm saying?
Here's a key. Here's a key, right? As long as it's lined up, it doesn't matter which side it is. Doesn't matter which hand it is. What Robert mentioned earlier in reference to trigger control is the most important at that point. If you have a sighting system, a front sight and a rear sight, as long as it's lined up, you've confirmed that the barrel is pointing in the direction that you want it to go. It's now up to the trigger. The problem with people who switch left from right hand to left hand is this.
It's a finger.
And
Well, I can
grip.
shoot it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you can shoot it, the switch or the changeover is not going to be a problem.
Right. It's just feeling weird.
Yep. Get past that. And that's
Get it
going
out
to
of the
pay
head. Just,
250 draws, and it's going to start feeling natural. Somewhere in the 200 range.
2,000 repetitions to become perfect at something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Then next thing I know, I'll be walking with a left limp.
Because you one cool mofo.
Yeah. So speaking of that, do you guys do you carry a flashlight for these houses? You never enter these houses at night, do you?
No, and no, I won't. I won't show houses at night. And the FMLS, the system that we use will not open a door until 9 a.m. and it stops opening the doors at 7 p.m.
Okay.
So,
Okay, but well, you got daylight savings time. Like we're gonna hit daylight savings time now.
I'm not
next
sure.
couple of weeks.
Most of us, no,
No, you don't do it.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, I
So
just
that's like a built-in safeguard.
yeah. I mean, most people don't want to go after work anyway, for the most part. Some do. Everybody, you can't say everybody's the same, but and I'm sure there are realtors that do show at night. But as a practice, as a safety precaution, no.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Yeah.
We go in a lot of basements. I've been in. I was in a nuclear facility. They dug out it's not even a basement. It was for a nuclear bomb going off in a house that was built in the 50s.
Oh, like a shelter.
Oh,
Yeah.
bomb shelter. Yeah.
And I had to climb down the ladder, and I was like, why am I doing this?
Why you go down in there?
I mean, why do I need to go down there,
Right.
I mean, somebody wanted to see it, or you just wanted to see it?
Take pictures of it. And she wouldn't even go down there. I'm like, well, you're buying a house. Why don't you go down there?
Was it dark and damp? It was pretty nasty down up in there.
Yeah, there's rats down there and
Oh,
spiders.
rats! Oh my God! Get down there, be a big, gigantic 4-foot spider down there.
Spiders. Oh, yeah.
Be a big 4-foot spider. You'd be like,
Yeah.
oh my God!
What happened to Alfonso? There was a spider.
Oh my
Do you
God!
carry anything other than the firearm? Like, say, pepper spray or
I like knives.
knives? No.
Knives are very effective. A lot of people don't realize that. They're very effective, especially against a guy with a gun,
Especially within that 5 feet range.
Yeah. You do a
And
lot of damage.
You see a lot of negative press when, let's just say, it's a police shooting and they shoot more than 1 or 2, 3 times. Some somebody's coming at me. I don't know what they're on. I don't know
Right.
what's in their hands. You
Right.
know,
Right.
pull the trigger till you try.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He carried 18 in the pipe and he shot 32 rounds.
Right. Mhm.
He reloaded.
Exactly.
Yeah, he reloaded. It's like, should I stop? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
But
Yeah.
back to that scenario when I was in that open house and the weird guy that comes in with the overcoat, and he's got his hands in his pockets.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, I could not tell what was in those pockets. And as
Right.
shady as he was, I had to have distance, and that was the only thing that made me feel even somewhat safe was distance.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
8, 9 feet. And that's all I had.
Right. Yeah. Mm. That's rough, man. That's really rough putting yourself in that situation. But you know, you got to do what you got to do to make money.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, and you know, you ever come across any strange females in that high on drugs or whatever?
My wife is still up. Hold on.
No, I ain't talking about get out of here. I ain't talking about like that. You know what I'm talking about. Some that's strange. You know, it just don't make any sense. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
no, not really. It's no.
Always the guys.
It's always the guys. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they're out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they use a lot of females to set the stage. You know, I was in a parking lot once and at a Target, and it was a lady that was walking up on me rapidly and was talking about, you got any money? And I immediately thought this was a distraction setup, and so my hand immediately goes toward my firearm. Never drew it, just rested on the outside of it, and I immediately started looking around. I told her to stop where she was because she
Yeah.
kept approaching me. And I said, stop. And I just started looking around because I figured, she's coming from a 3 o'clock position. The other person is probably coming from a 10 or a 9. So I immediately put a car in between me
Yeah.
and what was on the left side of me and told her to stop there because she wasn't a threat. And so then immediately started scanning and looking around from my 11 to my 8 o'clock and see if anybody was there. And it freaked her out. But I was like, I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? And you're asking me something strange. And usually when people ask for money, they ask for money at a distance. But she asked for money and kept approaching. And I thought that was very weird. You know what I'm saying? And it just threw my senses into overdrive.
Rightfully so.
That's a real thing, and I'm sure Al's probably dealt with it a lot, more than me per se. Is when somebody gets close to you,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know what their intentions are, just like what you said.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's a very uncomfortable feeling, and
Mm-hmm.
I guess the best thing to do is retreat. Look for a way to get away from the situation.
Put something between you and them, like he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're indoors, put a chair, a table, an island in the kitchen, anything,
Well,
a couch, just some
Well,
kind of barrier.
what was in between me and her was my firearm, but I never drew it, because her hand stayed exposed, and she was a small, petite woman, so I knew she didn't have hands, so
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Throw hands.
yeah, she can't throw hands, you know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
my day, okay,
Okay.
all right,
Everybody is a 12th degree black belt, Dan, and I
right.
think that everybody could kick my ass. I'm always terrified.
Hey, it's true. What's up, my man, Rick? By the time you got home, hope you're feeling better. And yeah, it's but it's like the media threat was somewhere else.
Yeah, I
I
got
thought,
what you're saying, though.
you know what I'm saying? So especially if a guy come up,
Did anything come of it, or it was like
no,
a
nothing came up of
Yeah.
it. She legitimately wanted some money, so I told her to stay where she was, a whole car length away from me, and I put the money on the ground, and I said, "Hey," I just gave her $5 and just walked off. I just put it on the ground and
You soft, man. You
put
soft.
something on it, and walked off.
You soft.
And no, I was,
You soft, man. You
I
write
don't
that off.
usually
You
do
gonna write
that.
that off? Put that
Yeah,
on it.
You know
I've
you have
had
a
it.
Alfonso.
Huh?
We know you have a big heart.
Big
No, it's not that
business,
big.
business
No, it's just
contact.
usually I don't give people money, when they. But she legitimately looked like she needed some money. She didn't look like a crack addict or whatever. I mean, it looked like she was out of pocket for a little bit. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I just put $5 on the ground, walked off. I
Hmm.
didn't even want to get close to her. So
Yeah,
that
there's an incident where a guy, no, nothing against you, but a guy truly underestimated a lady. So a lady walked up to her. He's in uniform, and she stabbed him. Stabbed him right
oh
in the stomach,
wow,
in the chest, and in the throat. And he survived for about 3 years in a coma, and then he passed away.
wow.
Yep. So that's why I say nobody,
Hmm.
nobody.
Okay,
Exactly. You damn real, Rick. I don't care. Your problem is your problem. I got a bunch of. You want to hear my problems? Sit down. I'll give you a
right.
list of them.
Well, I don't.
So
Don't get me wrong, people. I don't care either. I'm soulless when it comes to people. But that that day, that I think that was a kind of apology for me because I kind of figured I saw her as a threat,
hmm
and once I realized she wasn't a threat, I was like, I kind of overreacted a little bit,
Right, right. That was you.
So
You saying sorry.
that was my way of saying sorry
Yeah,
without
I
actually
got you.
saying sorry. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
I
So
understand. My
right.
sorry was f you. Get away from me.
Now, I did have a guy, I was putting in some ice in an ice chest once at a gas station. This guy drove up on me real fast. And soon as he drove up on me, as he drove up, my hand immediately went to starting to draw. And because let me try to explain my position. So if I'm the microphone, my back is toward facing the car, putting ice in the ice chest. My back is on the front of the microphone. He drove up immediately right close to me like this, right on me, where I can reach out and touch his door.
Hmm.
That's how close he drove up on me. And immediately I just went and started drawing the holster. And as he saw me draw, he stopped. Then his hands went up. And I was like, and I was halfway out of the holster on him. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I was just gonna ask you, do you need any I need some money. I need to borrow some money or something. And I was like, I looked at it and I was like, you was about to get more than money, you know? and I don't have any money and go away. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And
Does this
that was
happen to you
crazy.
often, Alfonso? It sounds like it does.
Huh?
People are just
Yeah,
asking you for money. But
that's before
Right.
I learned how to be a gray man.
okay.
Yeah. And so now I'm a gray man. Nobody asks me for anything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Explain the
Yeah.
grade.
So the gray man is being invisible to the public.
Ninja.
You change the way you dress, you change the way you walk, but you see everybody around you and you see what's going to happen around you before it actually happens.
Wow.
But the way you look, you're non-existent to anybody in the room. So if something happened, they'll try to describe you and it's like only thing I know he was black. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
that's the only thing they can remember. And because I don't wear anything flashy, no jewelry, no watches, no nothing that will make myself stick out.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's the gray man. And you don't be outspoken. You don't say anything if you don't have to. Um, and you always got a pair of good running shoes on because you might need them. And and it's just you move amongst the crowd, and it's just just
Not standing out.
not standing out. The gray man is a key factor, and it took me a while to learn how to be a gray man. But once you learn how to be a gray man, and it's very effective, and because it's so effective, you laugh to yourself when you can go in a crowd of people or go into a situation and nobody even pay attention that you're there, and it's just and it's like you like laughing to yourself, like if I was a bad guy, it'll be over for you, but I'm not a bad guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You're a
Let
sheep.
me, hmm?
You're a sheepdog.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But
It's a combo. It's a
it's a
combo.
combo too.
Yeah.
I will not be aggressive if I don't have to be. The aggressiveness, it has to be at a high level of bodily harm to somebody that's really in need, or to myself is immediate.
Mhm.
But if it's somebody else I see on the street, let me give you a couple of scenarios. If I'm in my car and I see it's happening on the street, I will not exit my car to go defend. I will not do that. I'll call 911. If it's in the immediate area of me, let's say if I'm in a store, I have to deal with it at that point.
Mhm.
If I'm getting ready to walk into a store and it's happening, I'm not dealing with it. I won't walk into the store. But if I see it before it's happening in the store, because I do glance into places before I look, before I go into them. And if I see it's happening, I won't enter, you know? So,
See, one of the comments that's going to come up in a minute is basically the way I grew up. And real quick one, cousin and I are going pick up some food at a takeout. And as we go in, we're talking to each other. This is way before any of this stuff. I even had any knowledge of tactics. And when I look in, I see a guy with a sawn-off shotgun and another guy reaching over the plexiglass. Right, he's already
mhm,
climbed up the top of the plexiglass. I stop. My cousin's still talking. Walks right inside. The guy with the shotgun points it at
mm,
him and gets him, pulls him over. I
and
run,
now he's a
and
part of
it
it.
was a McDonald's down the street. I run into the McDonald's and I'm watching the building. Now he's a part of it. Then I see the two jokers run out, right? And I go get my cousin. They told him he can't leave for 30 minutes or some craziness, and he wasn't.
Mhm,
He was so shocked or shook, he wasn't leaving. I'm like, get your, let's go. They're not coming back. Let's go. And
right.
but that's the life of being in quote unquote the hood. And
Mhm,
but you understood that. I looked up and saw it, and he was second. I was first. I stopped, and he walked in the door and kept on going. Walked right past me.
right.
Like, come on, man, get out the way. Okay,
You have
I'm
to be
not going
very
in there.
careful about being a hero. You know.
And you
Yeah,
got to pay attention. No, I had no
yeah,
firearms. I was probably 17, 16 years old.
right.
I'm
I'm
not
no
going in
hero.
there. No.
You know, I'll do what I have to do, but I'm no hero.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well,
uh,
heroes are people that say the same things that we're saying right now, and then
right,
when confronted with a situation, they deal with it, not looking for a situation, not
right,
making situations happen.
right. But I will turn extreme violence if it comes to anybody in my family.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
And so that's the only time I'll become a hero.
So go to
Yeah,
the WK's first one. There you go.
yeah.
See, and this
If
is where I think, I
Go
guess
ahead now.
DVD is talking about if you give them a little money, then they think you got more money and will come at you for more. I refuse them in a loud voice from experience. And I agree. I
Mhm,
stopped them right in their tracks. All that
right.
stuff you talk about finding out that she didn't. As soon as they start, excuse me, no.
Well, that was way before the
I'm
times
telling you.
now. You know
I
what I'm
understand
saying? So,
that's been where I'm in 1986, as Robert mentioned earlier. As soon as it's been a long time, bro. I
all right,
learned
guys. I
one
just
thing. I
told you
learned
so.
from
Don't
victims.
harp on that
Victims
goddamn.
listen. The victims
Yeah.
listen, and victims thought they were smarter than the person that they were dealing with.
That was that
So
was
when you
that was a
get
that was a learning mistake. It won't happen
no,
again.
nothing. We're not critiquing you anymore. We're past that. What I'm saying to you is when you some this flim flam or whatever you want to call it, somebody comes up and asks for money like that. The longer you talk, the worse it is for you. You shut them
Usually,
down immediately.
usually when they ask for money nowadays, now my motto today, I just look at you and keep moving. I don't even
That same
acknowledge
thing.
you.
No
I don't say a
acknowledging, no
word.
speak.
I
Right.
just look and just
Yep.
keep on moving. And
Because
I'm
those words
first thing
can't
I'm
hurt you.
looking at is your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's at night and if you're close to me, I'm gonna hit you in the chest with my flashlight and just to throw your eyes off as I pass. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's a good thing your flashlight's not attached to your WML. It
oh
wouldn't
yeah,
line a
that'd be
light.
stupid. That's why I don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, something he learned.
Uh, Yep,
That's
not to
something
be
he learned.
flashy. That's what he was talking about. We're wearing gold
Yeah,
and jewelry and
yeah, golden jewelry.
flashy or
And
ornaments.
nowadays, a lot of the guys that's doing that with those big time, guys making a little money. They're wearing all this jewelry and stuff, the
Hmm.
big old medallions, and
And they're being
you know,
tracked on social media and then robbed later.
and
You
I
know
see a
that.
lot of, yeah, I know. I see a
Hmm.
lot of guys when I go to the track and work out. A lot of guys be having these nice, expensive watches on while they're walking on the track, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Hmm.
And one guy I passed, he had a real expensive, huge watch. I said, "It's a nice watch." He said, "Oh, you're not gonna rob me or anything." I said, "Dude," I said, "if I was, I wouldn't have said anything." You know, I ain't never spoke to that dude again. I see him on the track, now they act like I don't even see him.
Right.
He's an
Exactly.
idiot. He's a
You
freaking
know
idiot.
something I didn't know until just recently, that they're actually stealing. Let's see, almost said the celebrities are being killed and robbed.
Yeah,
Um,
killed
the
and
one thing
robbed.
I didn't know that they were stealing Apple watches.
Apple watches.
Yeah, they're about three, four, $500, depending on what model you get. They're from
Mm.
$300 to $600. The new ones are close to, I don't know, $600. And they see you with it, and they're snatching them and robbing you for. I
See,
said,
I even
damn,
stopped wearing a
electronic
watch.
watch.
I don't wear any
Yeah,
watches anymore. I
I
leave
don't
all
have a
my
watch.
watches at home because I got a clock in my phone.
Right.
So why carry a watch?
Unless it's Sunday going to meeting type. There's no need for a
I
watch.
ain't doing that. No, I ain't got
You
no
know,
time.
I didn't say you.
that brings up something like in my industry as realtors, um, it's perception, and
Hmm.
realtors are perceived to have money, drive nice cars,
Mm-hmm.
you're dressed for success, and that in its own right puts a target on our heads.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Yep.
In today's world, they don't ask for money. They demand that you give them money. It's different nowadays. Yeah, which is true. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have demand for your money. It's like,
Hmm.
give me some money. It's like,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Give you
plenty of
some money,
times.
all right.
Yep.
Yeah. Keep
I've
messing
given
with
money to two homeless people sitting down. This has happened to me. Two homeless people sitting down. I give them one guy to I have some change in my pocket.
me.
This is,
Oh.
and the other one turns around and says, "Where's mine?" And I said, "You guys split it." And
Mm-hmm.
he he got upset,
Mm. I had a homeless guy when I was working
and then he
down.
went to sleep.
He
But go
went
ahead.
he went
Yeah.
to sleep.
Forced.
Oh, forced to sleep. Who put him to
Yeah.
sleep? The other guy? You did. It's like night,
Dude,
night.
you can imagine, dude that hasn't eaten in 3 days attacks me. Are you
Right.
crazy?
And
I
that's
just came
that's
out of a
stupid.
restaurant. I just came out
Oh,
the
you a
restaurant.
fool,
I
fresh,
was full,
fat.
fresh, had a few libations. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
I said, man,
Oh
you
yeah.
good? He told me he
Right.
was going to take it out of my hide.
Oops.
Oh, that was
Hmm.
the wrong
I
thing to
said, why
do.
don't you just go to sleep?
Yeah.
Yep. I
Yeah.
said, okay, that's cool. We'll
Yeah.
see how that works out for you.
Hmm.
Yeah. I had a homeless guy down at Grady. He said he was homeless. So the McDonald's was there. I said, come on, come with me. And
Hmm.
I'll buy you something to eat. I don't want nothing to eat. And I said, you don't want no money either. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I'll buy you something to eat, but I'm not giving you no money so you can go get high with it. That's not
Right.
happening.
The
You
one
know?
time when I was younger, I did the same thing you said.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Central Station in New York. Take a guy to go get something to eat. Got him something to eat. Got him a sandwich and a drink. And he turned around and said, "Can I have some money for my pocket?" I said, "I have no money
Mm,
for your pocket. I have no money
right.
for your pocket." This dude, I was 17. This guy's like 30 something. He asked me for
Mm-hmm.
money for his pocket like he was my kid. Like, you have no money for your pocket.
You can't do
No.
that. Yeah.
And this is when I started my rationale. Like, oh hell no, I'm a college kid, bro. What you want money?
Right.
I'm being nice. I don't know. It was Christmas time.
Right.
I was like, I'm being
This,
nice.
this WK. You can't do this all the time. Al says this in the video.
Hmm. That last
The
one that
last
demanded that I give him some money, I offered him some lead instead of parking lot at work of all places. You know where that is. Exactly.
right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Offer you some lead. You wanna then you say you want a lead sandwich with some pumpernickel?
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
And the bad thing about it is that they don't understand. You can do that to somebody. You can technically threaten them, and they still stand there because
Yeah.
in most cases they're demented, and they don't understand that where you're coming from, the fear that you have, because this is what they do every day. This is old hat to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's old hat.
They're
Yeah.
used to kinds of action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So it's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you just gotta do what you gotta do, protect yourself, and exercise your Second Amendment. And like I said, also too, a lot of you guys in the state of Georgia and a lot of other places, early voting. You got to get out there and vote, guys. November 8th is coming around, and what we got to do is vote gun and make sure we get the right people in the right positions. And because we got HR 1808 that has not went to the Senate, and the Senate is actually holding it back, waiting on the election that's going to happen on November 8th. And if we don't change the Senate, 1808 goes to the Senate floor, and this lifestyle we have is going to disappear, and
Yeah.
we're going to lose it all. That's including me, you, and everybody else who's watching. They will come for those firearms 90 days after they sign that bill into law. Confiscation clause, and you're thinking you're gonna keep your
All
you
your new
think
firearms.
all your new firearms. Everybody been
Mm-hmm.
going out there buying them and stuff. Also, too, the 4473s will be turned over to the ATF.
Mm-hmm.
They will create that database and come to your homes and secure those firearms for you. And
People think it's so many it's impossible. Think of all the people who are going to be compliant because they don't want no problems, right? That
mm-hmm,
eliminates probably half, right?
mm-hmm,
So now you get rid of that. Then you turn around and after that half, you got the rest of us.
mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of time. One by one, they'll pick you off.
Right. DB Film said he's voting gun down the list. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. And vote for guns in the Constitution. That's what you vote for, people.
Yep.
And don't let these people fool you with all these stupid ads and stuff on TV. They're just lying. And this is the last throws. If we don't get this right, we're done. So this is no joke. So I just, you can say what you want to say. You hardcore Democrats, it's going to affect you too. We're all in the same boat on this one. So if you own any type of firearm, rifle, hunting, shotgun, skeet, it's all gone. It's all on the list, every single one of them. So by name, model, and make.
Yeah,
Man,
it'd
you
be
think I'm
worse than
joking?
was it 94? It'd be worse than 94.
Yeah, go look it up, and you'll see what's going to happen. And it's not going to be pretty. They're already gearing up for it. They thinking it's going to pass. So if it comes to anything. Um, you guys got any more questions and stuff? You guys got anything you want to
Any
ask?
statements?
Yeah, Robert, talk about anything on hand. We're gonna give you guys a couple minutes. Um, Robert, what do you see your future after you get this RMR ready to go and tricked out?
I've got a competition next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a competition after that up in Rome with Edgar Mills and Osprey
What's
Shooting
what's the
Solution.
competition you're shooting next week?
It's IDPA down there at South River. It's the last one that they're going to have.
I'll
And
be out there.
you're going to be there?
Going? You gonna shoot
Mhm.
now?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
shoot.
You can shoot for me. Take some extra bullets.
So, well, we got to get the same bay there, Al.
Okay.
Huh?
We squat up
Yeah,
again.
you got to squat up. Yeah.
So that's going to be the last competition down there. And you and I talked about that, Alfonso. And
Mhm.
Edgar Mills is running a Halloween shooting competition out in Rome. And he does a great job.
It's a night. That's a night shoot.
No, it's a day shoot. And
Oh, okay.
I think it's going to be 5 stages. And Edgar does a great job. You know, he's a Green Beret. He's a really nice guy. Does a really good job. And so I got those two competitions.
Is that a 2-gun or single?
Pistol match.
Oh, it's a pistol match. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So how'd you like the Land's End? You shot the Land's End the other day? What'd you think?
Yeah. It's a highly precision rifle. It shoots well. I'm used to shooting sloppy guns, so that was No, I ain't saying your gun was sloppy. Your gun was highly precision compared to my guns. You know, my guns they sound like I'm opening a beer. You know what I'm saying when I shoot them, you know, but they work. You know, so but it's a, Supreme rifle. It's very clean.
Yeah, Lance,
Uh,
good job.
yeah, if you want to throw some dollars away on a rifle, I say because you know, their guns are cheaper than what they're selling on the market. So, but they're custom made, and they're
They're
all
custom.
mil spec, and
Yeah,
so their guns they're if you shake the upper receiver and the lower receiver, it doesn't move,
Ooh,
and that's something on an AR platform is unique.
yeah.
So it's like and it shoots very well, and you can tell it because you don't feel the gun, you know, gyrate as much. With a normal AR, when you shoot it, the lower receiver stays in place, and you can feel that upper receiver shaking, and you don't feel that on that Lands End, and you can put 3 rounds into a small quarter size hole easily.
That's what
You know,
you did
yeah,
exactly
yeah,
that.
right,
And I'm
and
that close on it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and so so it's a good shooting gun. If anybody needs any custom ARs, it's ideal where to go. You know, you need to wait till after November 8th, see where you're gonna sit, so it don't get confiscated. But
yeah, please do that.
hey
so
Rob, which one do you have?
I've got the Light 42, which is a 5.56. That's my tactical rifle, and then I shoot the Vlad 34, which is the 7.62 as well. I can shoot that out to about a mile with that Shepherd scope.
hmm yeah, he's
Cool.
got some gear, man. You
Yeah,
know,
Mm-hmm.
some high end gear.
it's
And then I come out to the range, with my raggedy stuff, and
yeah, yeah.
shoot fire. You know what I'm saying?
So those guys
So
did a good job. That's all.
yeah, they did. And I went out there with him and met those guys, and they're a great bunch of guys. They know their stuff. Let
Yeah,
me tell you,
Johnson
they're
can.
they're, they're no joke.
Yeah,
They're some serious guys, and um, they know guns and they know how to fix them, and how to repair them, and they know how to make them from scratch.
Cool.
So yeah. So tell us where they can find you, Robert.
well, I'm a real estate broker, and usually if you call me on my cell phone and you text me, I'll get right back to you. And my website is robertmasonsellshomes.com, and my company is RM Property Group.
And he's got a contact page up there, and you can contact him. And there's this good looking picture there. See, it's all his contact information. Got his Hotmail up there, and you can also send him a message through the website.
Yeah,
So
look me up on Facebook or through you guys, and I'll be happy to help any of you guys.
he's
Cool.
got excellent client reviews. You know, nobody's saying anything bad about him. If they did, he probably took it off the page. And,
Smart man.
Well, my wife,
right.
I don't even know how to do it.
But here's the front page of the website. So actually, what it looks like, it's got his contact phone number up here, and so it's got the beautiful home he's got there in the front, and it's the company name, and he's got listings up there too. So
I
you
can.
know, uh,
David says hi. He
oh, he
remembers
did.
you now.
Oh
Yeah, he
yeah,
remembers
yeah.
Rob now.
Now I remember you saw the picture of him. Yeah,
Hmm.
and you do commercial stuff too, right,
I do a
Robert?
little bit of commercial, Alfonso, but since my wife and I bought Harley's Hideaway up with Big Canoe, I've kind of shifted my attention to the short-term rental game, and so that's I'm doing. I'm not really doing the commercial. I'm doing the short-term rental game now for some folks.
Hmm. Okay. And he's also going to be on the podcast coming up. What
Yeah,
is that podcast?
yeah. It's Woodstock. It's a local station out of Woodstock, and that's going to be all about shifting real estate markets, and that's going to be Wednesday.
Right. So you guys remember when the market's low, guys, invest in real estate if you got it, because real estate always give you a good turnaround when the market is down. So that's something to always think about. Owning a second home, or if you can buy something, and put your money away and grow on the returns. And that's what all the millionaires are all talking about doing right now. So this recession we're in is going to stick with us for a while, and I think you're going to be talking about that on the podcast. Is that correct? What day is that and what time?
That's Wednesday. It's going to be
Okay.
Wednesday.
All right.
Do you
And
know the
like I said,
time, Robert?
I'm going to post it. I think it's 1 o'clock. It might even be 2 o'clock. And I'm going to post it
Okay.
on Facebook.
yeah,
So
he's
look,
gonna post it on Facebook. He also send me a link to it and put it on the live off the YouTube page
yeah,
in the chats, and you should be able to see it there. Or just send it to me, and I can put it in the notes in the details, so people can watch you from there.
you find me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be more
And
than happy.
DV Film said, "What's up, man?"
Yeah.
So he's met now. He realized who you are. I guess
Mm.
sitting here watching you for an hour, he didn't know who you were. But
Familiar. Is that Tom
all
Curry?
right. So we want to thank everybody for watching the show. Thank you guys for the questions. Thank you guys for the support. Like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to our Two Alphas Talk on YouTube.
It's free.
Like, yeah, it's free. It's not going to cost you anything. We're not asking you for a buck. We're doing this for your favor and to help you guys out with knowledge and this material that's out there. And
Right. And share it one another. It's a small group, but we like to get bigger.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if you like it, it goes up, and for the more frequently people
Because
watch
we're
it.
growing all the time. The likes, the looks, the views,
Right.
all that stuff is growing on a regular basis. So we understand that we're continuing doing this because you guys are there. That's why. And the more
Right.
they gather, the more we can do, the more we can have a guest like Robert on.
Right.
And these guys are fantastic. You guys are fantastic, and I appreciate you. You know that.
All right.
Right.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on too. All right. I was going to ask you for some last words, but you just said them. All right. Hang tight, Robert. Don't go nowhere. All right. Bye. Oh, we see you guys in the range.
See you on the range, guys.
You guys.